Hi everybody and welcome to the Open eCrime midweek market commentary for the 23rd of October. My name's Simon Clark from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing the markets that are of key interest right now. Now the first market I'm going to talk about today here is silver. This is the mini futures contract. And if we take a look here at the monthly chart, we can see that silver's been in a nice downtrend for some time. We've broken some key levels here at 26.75. Price has now sort of moved down and we've had a bit of a retracement here. It's became overextended from the moving averages after this big move and now we've had a bit of a pullback. If we take a look at the weekly chart, we can see this move in a bit more detail. In fact, price has come down and there's a couple of levels here of prior support and resistance around the $18 and $20 levels. Price has tested these a few times. It's now pushed back up to make a lower high, but now we've started put in a higher low, and we just put that in and now price is starting to move up and break to the high side. We've certainly got some nice convergence here on the indicators, looking like we could potentially see a bit more of a protracted move to the upside. If we come down to the daily chart here, we can see the recent price action in a bit more detail. We can see that as this price was moving down, we've actually put in and constructed some other levels here of support and resistance. So we got here the 20 level. We've got here 2270 rather, that we can see that price has tested a number of times. So it's actually come through here. It's been support, it's been resistance, it's been resistance, it's been a bit of support, and now the price is now sort of coming right back up to this level here at the moment. Also, if we take a look at the recent trend movement here, we're looking at here, we've got a low, we've got a high, we've got a higher low. But even when we start to take a look here at the more recent trend, the more exact trend, we've got a couple of lows in here of more or less equal lows, and now price is pushing up and it's now breaking above the previous high. Indicators are starting to roll round now, and we haven't got the moving averages all in the right order just at the moment on this time frame, but we have on the lower time frames. So if we take a look here at the 240 chart, I'll show you a bit more detail about what I'm looking at. So I've got the 2270 level that we were looking at there on the daily, and we can see that level marked in here. We can see that there's also been, price has been sort of trading between a number of these levels for a period of time. So these are sort of consolidation levels that price has tested many times. Since we've had this low, price has now started a new uptrend. We've got a clear series of higher highs and higher lows. Price has just tested 2270 again, was overextended and is now rolling back into the buy zone here. So we've got the buy zone, nice geometry here with our 10 and our 20 period moving average, lovely convergence on the indicators. So if price sort of comes back into this area, it may well find a bit more momentum as the trend continues, and if we get a decisive break above 2270, then we could be looking for a bit more of a protracted move on these higher time frames, maybe up here on the daily, maybe up here towards the sort of 25 area, and if we get a break above 25, we could even be looking for potentially a move next up towards the 2675. Okay, so the next market I'm going to take a look at today here is the dollar Swiss market, and we've had some big movements in the US dollar market at the moment, but I particularly like dollar Swiss because we've just broken some key levels. So if we take a look here at the monthly chart, we can see from sort of mid 2011 price has sort of rolled over, it's come back up, it's tested 1000 level, the parity level again, it's tried to test it a second time but failed, and now we've put in a new low here. Indicators are starting to roll over here, and certainly the RSI has. MACD's just lagging behind slightly. It becomes a lot more clearer though if we take a look at this on the weekly chart. So we've got a couple of levels marked in here. We've got 93,000, or it's 9,300 and 9,000. We can see that these levels have been tested numerous times before, and we can see the 9,000 level. Every time price has tested 9,000, it's found a lot of momentum and it's pushed up quite strongly. Recently, when price came down and tested 9,000, price only managed to reach up to the 10-period moving average, and now it's moved down again and broken down below 9,000. We've got all of our moving averages just in the right order here now. We've got a nice clear series of lower highs and lower lows on the weekly chart as well, and we've got some lovely convergence here on the indicators too. Now what I like about this is that if this decisively gets broken and we could potentially get a protracted move to the downside. There's pretty much nothing in the way, or no historical support and resistance in the way, for a larger move to the short side. So if we take a look here at the daily chart, we can see this move in a bit more detail. We can see the recent move that price came down, tested the 9,000 level, rolled back over, and now we've had some pretty sort of strong moves to the downside where price came down, slammed into 9,000, tried to hold that level for a couple of days, and now has broken decisively underneath it. So if I come down to the 240 chart here, we can see this downward move here. We can see our 9,000 level through here. We know this is a strong level, so we've seen it on the higher time frames. And we can see this 9,000 level is sort of also clustering with the sell zone at the moment. So we've got our moving averages all there fanning at the moment. So what I start to do is just draw some fib studies in here and just see from the recent high, we can see that we've got, with this 9,000 level, we've got a 61.8% fib level that's clustering with the 9,000 level, also happens to cluster with the sell zone as well. So a nice area that if price does come back up into this area, we've got the sell zone there of 61.8% fib retracement, and then that nice 9,000 level as a nice area of potential support for, resistance for price to reach up and test. And that's potentially areas to start looking for new opportunities for shorting this market. Okay, so the last market I'm going to talk about today is the yen. Now, we've had some big movements in the yen just over the past 24 hours. And if we take a look here at the yen futures contract, this is the @JY futures contract, and get a perspective on what this recent move means in the current price action. So we can see here from the monthly chart that price has been in a strong downtrend. We've tested this 1,000 level, pretty much moved sideways back into the moving averages, but because we've quite a protracted move this, we wouldn't be at all surprised if we get a bit further of a pullback, maybe a pullback into the averages before we start to see any other further confirmation of where the trend is likely to go. Now if we take a look at the weekly chart here, we can see as prices come down to this low, tested 1,000, we've now got this sort of formation here. Really, it's like a bit of a wedge shape really, where we've got lower highs and higher lows, but we've certainly got some nice bullish momentum here in the indicators based upon our MACD and our RSI. So higher lows as price is testing this 1,000 level, rejecting it, bullish momentum, and we're looking like we could be getting a turnaround and maybe a bit more of a pullback in price action. If we come down to the lower time frames, the daily chart doesn't really sort of tell us an awful lot more, other than we can see that the rejection of this 1,000 level, and more recently we can see that price has now sort of pulled back from this previous high, pull back to make a higher low, and now price is pushing back up, looking like it's coming back up to test the previous high. So coming down to the 240 chart, this is what I'm sort of look for on this market. We can see that we've actually got the formation of a new uptrend here. We've got nice convergence on our indicators, and our moving averages are just in the right order as well. And if we put a fib study on there, we can see that the buy zone, in between the 50 and the 61.8% fib area, actually clusters there with our tops of our moving averages as well. So we're starting to get a bit of a pullback at the moment from this strong move, so I won't be at all surprised to see if price comes back to this area. We could be looking for potential trend flow trading opportunities back towards the long side. Okay, so that concludes the midweek market outlook and potential trading opportunities to look out for this week. We look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.